You're just a bobblehead. Guys, that's Kate in the back. What's going on Facebook? Happy freaking Friday. Coming at you live from Orlando. It's your boy, Coach Chance, and his girl.
And Kate.
Kate, hopefully one day Coach Caitlin, right? So, guys, we just had some issues with Facebook. I had to delete a bunch of storage, a bunch of stuff on my computer. But we are, oh, there we go. Sorry, Kate's not in this one. But we are live now. What's going on, everybody?
Guys.
What's up, what's up, what's up? Coming at you live, Orlando. Let us know how your day's going in the comments below. If you guys are celebrating any wins today. Pretty cool. We get to do this live from a swimming pool. So that is a first for sure for me. So like I said, guys, if you're just tuning in, drop some wins in the comments. I want to know what you guys are up to today on this beautiful, freaking awesome Friday. So
hopefully the sound isn't bad with the waterfall.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, this waterfall back here.
Let us know if the sound doesn't sound
Definitely good point.
We could turn the waterfall off.
Definitely a good point on that. Sound like Steven. Definitely. So yes, guys, we today are going to be talking about financial fitness. You know, I've ran into this a few times with some people I've worked with in the past, and you know, even myself and Kate included, we've dealt with, you know, like struggling to save money, struggling to kind of like know where to put our money, like how to invest it. And you know, the one thing I want to preface before we go live for those of you guys that are in here right now is we're not financial professionals. We're like no professionals at all with that. I'm a fitness coach.
Nothing.
Yeah, we're not certified. So we just want to make that clear before we get on here and talk about, you know, what we kind of do. We're going to give you guys like 3 tips today on, you know, acquiring financial fitness and what does financial fitness look like. So I'm going to wait just like 30 more seconds for hopefully some more people to hop in here. And then we are going to get started with today's live stream and today's podcast. So hopefully you guys are freaking crushing it. We are in Orlando. We're sleeping over in Orlando tonight at Kate's parents' house, and then we're heading down to the Florida Keys for a week. So we're going down there with my family. It should be a really good trip. It's been a while since I've been down there. Mm-hmm. Kate's only been down there one time.
Well, 2 times.
Couple
when
times.
I was little, I don't really remember.
But we're going down there to do some fishing, do some lobstering. So it should be an adventurous, you know, filled trip. Yeah. You know, be a good time. So yes. Yeah, I don't see Steven in here, so I think we're just gonna get going, guys. For those of you, if you're just tuning in, and maybe you guys are catching this on the replay, make sure you guys hashtag replay. So I know you guys got some value from today's episode. Definitely throw some fire in there too, guys. As I'm talking, as Kate and I are kind of chatting about, you know, financial fitness, what that looks like for us, you know, and these 3 tips that maybe you guys can implement into your budget, you know, into your bank accounts, whatever you want to call it. To be more financially fit. So drop some fire, guys, for us as we kind of, you know, rattle off these 3 tips. And if you have any questions, try to save those for the very end. That way we can both address those towards the end of this podcast /live. So guys, without no further ado, we're going live in 3, 2, 1. What is going on, fam? Welcome back to another episode on the Relentless Life podcast. I am your host, Coach Chance. And guys, today, accompanying me is my better half, Mrs. Caitlin Curry, and I am so excited to be coming at you guys live. We're coming at you guys live from Orlando, guys, Orlando, Florida. So as you guys, I don't know if this noise is too much. We do have a nice, peaceful, for us at least, waterfall.
Right up there.
What?
See that little switch? That turns
Should I go shut it off, do you think? Maybe. So yeah, I'm going to go shut the switch off.
He's going to shut it off. Today we're going to talk about tips on how to pretty much budget your money. Just pretty much write it all out. See what you have to pay each month, what you have extra to spend for savings, for things that come up unexpectedly. And it's pretty much going to set you up to make sure you know where your money is going at all times. You know, it's pretty much going to budget your money. So
I don't think that's a switch today.
It might be outside. I don't know.
Whatever. All right, we're going to
figure it out.
Is anyone in there to ask if it's loud or not? All right, sorry about that, guys. We're live on the podcast. We're having some technical difficulties. Duran, what's going on, boss man? I hope you're having the best freaking day ever. So, guys, as Kate was just explaining, we're going to be going over 3 tips today, and I want to have my handy-dandy notepad here in front of me to know what we're talking about. But we're going to be going over 3 tips to kind of like, you know, if you guys struggle with saving money or with, you know, knowing kind of what to invest in, not so much like the professional advice, because like we said, we're not professionals. Kyle, what's going on, my man? Not licensed. We're not certified. So like everything we say is like it's not professional advice. We're just like giving you guys what we like to do.
Things that have worked for us.
Things that have worked for us. You guys obviously know that like I'm a fitness coach. I take care of my mental health, my physical health. My girlfriend Caitlin is the same way. Otherwise, sorry, I wouldn't be with her if she wasn't the same way. That's why we work well together, right? We have that discipline, we have that mutual like respect and understanding of what it means to be fit. And fitness goes much deeper than just like our physical aspect and our bodies and even our minds. And that's kind of what we're going to get in today, guys, with with the wallet and with our finances. So kind of going into today's episode, guys, and the first point I want to make, the very first thing, guys. So if you're taking notes, if you guys have a pen and a piece of paper, definitely take that out right now. The first thing, guys, is going to be creating a budget, right? Like this is all very basic information. So like let's just say that for now. But it's going to be creating a budget, guys. Understanding that when we know how to track our expenses, just like we track our calories or we track our macros or we track the foods that we're eating every day, the quality of the nutrition that we're putting into our bodies, tracking our workouts, right, babe, in the gym and stuff like that. We want you guys to track your money. We want you guys to track your finances. We want you guys to track, how much you're spending, and then also how much, you're putting away into savings, how much you're making. What is your income? Are you taking home $800 a week? Are you taking home $1,000 a week? Like, what is your income? You need to write that down, and you need to start budgeting these things, right?
Yeah. Yep. So something that's worked for me in the past, and I learned this, from my dad. I sat down with him at one point. He's very successful, and he kind of gave me tips on what's worked for him throughout his life to budget his money. He's very smart with his money. He's not a spender. Even if he has the money to spend, he uses it very, very strategically and smart to set him up for retirement, for the future, for everything. Yeah. And it really is important at the age that we're at right now in our 20s. Like, this is the time you should be setting yourself up. This is the time you should be sitting down and budgeting and making sure that your money is starting to go in the right areas. You're putting some towards this, some towards that, some towards this. It's really easy, and I've had a problem with this, my early 20s, when you get a paycheck that comes in and you see $700, $800, it's like, oh shit, I have all this money this week, and you want to go out and do this and that and spend money and go stay at a hotel and go on vacation and blow all this money. It's so easy to do that, but it's more about the long-term goals that are super important to keep in mind.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing, guys, too, on top of what Kate was kind of saying, is what I like to do, and I really hope that you guys can hear us, so I'm going to do my best to kind of speak closer to the cameras and to the audio recorder here, because I don't know if this is going to come out with great audio. I really don't. But what I like to do, guys, is I like to, every 3 to 6 months, so every quarter to half of a year, what I do is I go back on my budget and I'll recalculate, what I'm spending. So like any subscriptions, right? Like I'm subscribed to like a bunch of different like apps and softwares and different programs for like my fitness business, right? And obviously I know that's going to be a business expense. And if you have a business, by the way, you want to separate your business expenses from your personal expenses. But what I'll do, guys, is I'll write those subscriptions down. I'll write my bills down, electric, water, my mortgage, right? My house payment. Like if we're renting, like Kate will write down her rent. We write down our grocery bills, guys. That is a huge one. People oftentimes overlook how much they're actually spending on groceries every week. Food right now,
especially nowadays.
Yeah, like a dozen eggs, guys, is like what? If you want to get decent eggs, like $7-8 a dozen. So It's like these are things that you guys have to consider if you're trying to save money and if you're trying to be financially fit and financially free one day, because that's the goal. Like the reason why I'm into fitness, the reason why Caitlin and I prioritize our physical and our mental health is because we want to be free of pain, of injury, of having to rely on medication or chiropractic care or physical therapy in the future, right?
Pretty much stresses are going to come in life, and if we can avoid some of them at all
absolutely.
costs, we want to set ourselves up to avoid those stresses.
Yep. And guys, money really does make the world go round. Like obviously, like, you can be happy without money. That's not what I'm saying, but money has everything to do with everything. And if you can have your money right and have your money in check, and and you can prioritize, setting yourself up for financial freedom and for financial fitness, guys, you're going to have a much not only brighter, but a happier and healthier future, because now you're going to have that money to invest into a personal trainer or a program or the right foods, right? Or it's going and speaking to a therapist, going and speaking to Kate, right? Like one day she hopes to be a therapist or a life coach, like hopefully, right? And by the way, if you guys are in here right now, please let me and Kate know if you're having a hard time with hearing us. Because either way, I'm going to go through with the podcast. We're already halfway through it, but I just want to know like if we should adjust anything if you guys are just tuning in. So that's number one. Did you have anything else you wanted to say there?
I mean, pretty much. So number one with budgeting, it's so important. This is just my advice and what's worked for me. You know, I've taken a list. I don't know if this is in your other points.
You say whatever you want.
But I've taken a list and kind of first I went through my bank account. I have online banking. Most of you do, I'm sure. And you kind of go through and see every single thing that's coming out of your bank account automatically every single month.
Your statement.
So let's say that's your Amazon Prime, that's your gym membership, that's Hulu for me, Netflix, your rent, your water, your power, everything that's coming out automatically.
Yep.
It's not just a one-time thing, it's every single month it's coming out. Write all of those expenses down. And at the top of your page, write how much you make every single month. So let's say you make $600 every single week. You're looking at $2,400 a month that you have to spend. So you write down everything that comes out that month. Then let's say groceries are going to cost you $100 a week. If you're living alone, that's probably doable. If not, it might be a little bit more.
Right.
So let's say you're living alone, $100 a week groceries, gas. Who even knows nowadays?
Right. Everyone has,
So whatever the gas is, you write that down. Add all of that up. Then you can say, okay, I have this much left from the $2,400 that I make every single month. So for me, I'll put $50 into savings, and then I'll put $50 every single week into fun money. So you can do anything you want with that $50.
Guys, fun, F-U-N, like having fun.
Fun.
Not fun.
So anything you want, you know, you want to go to the movies, you want to go out and get a drink, you want to go to dinner, whatever. But once you're at that cap of that $50 that week,
that's it.
You have to have the mentality and the strength to say, no, sorry, I can't go. If somebody asks you, hey, I really want to go out to this bar tonight, and you've already went to dinner the last night and you spent your cap for your fun money that week, the $50, it has to be a no, because this is what's going to set you up for the future, is being mentally strong enough to say no when you budget, and then you know what you can spend. You know exactly how much money you have, and to get to your goals in the end, you can't go over that.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what works for me.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that that's awesome. I really do. I think that was a really valid piece of advice. And guys, kind of bouncing off of what Kate said, a lot of this is like, at least in my opinion, very like common procedure. It just comes down to you guys taking action. Like take action, and like what we're telling you to do. Like we said, we're not professionals, we're not certified, but all it takes is literally taking action and just writing your expenses down. It's very simple math. I spend this much on Netflix, like Kate said. I spent this much on gas, on groceries, blah, 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 blah. You add all that up, that's going to be your liabilities, right? At the end of the month, say you owe $3,000, and then now I'm making $3,200 a month. So now I have $200 left over. Okay, what are we going to do with that $200? I'm probably going to try to put it in savings, right? Like as long as I'm paying all my bills. It just comes down to basic math, just being consistent, having the work ethic. And guys, if you're not in a position to where you're budgeting and you're structured with your budget, I almost would be willing to bet that your fitness goals are not being nearly achieved to what they could be. If you're not structured with your finances, I'm willing to bet that you're not structured with your mental and your physical health too.
Absolutely.
You know,
your meals, staying structured with
like,
your meals.
Guys,
structure has to do with every single aspect of your life. It's not just one thing. You can't just be structured in one thing and then expect to succeed in all of these other things.
Guys, the way that you do one thing is the way that you do all things. I'm going to say that again. If you guys are taking notes, I want to see it in the comments. The way that you do one thing is the way that you do all things. So you're either an intense person and you go hard and you have great work ethic, you're super consistent with everything that you do, your health, your fitness, your wealth, like everything, your relationship, showing up on time promptly to your career, or you're not, or you're lazy and you put your priorities at the bottom of your list. So guys, that's number one, is creating a budget. We're going to move into number two, guys, and that is having the 80-20 rule. And we're freezing on Facebook here. Okay, we're back. And that's having the 80-20 rule, guys. And what do I mean by this? I mean that 80% of the money that you spend. So this is after you guys put money into an investment portfolio. You put money, say, into real estate. You put money into the stocks. You put money into savings. Whatever you guys decide to do with money that you're kind of setting yourself up with the future, savings, investments, stuff like that. 80% of that, I want you guys to invest that, spend that money on an asset, right? And what do I mean by this? I mean investing in your health, right? A personal trainer, investing in good, healthy foods, and not investing into, eating at McDonald's. Guys, eating at McDonald's is a liability. Prepping ground beef with rice and, some fruit on the side, that is an asset. Why? Because you're setting yourself up to be healthy in the long run. So now you're not going to have to come out of pocket thousands of dollars when you're 50, 60 years old,
It ends up
all these hospital visits and doctor visits and stuff like
becoming worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why, like, there's so many products out there that are way better for you. They don't have as many chemicals in them. They're not going to be as harmful on your long-term health, and they're more expensive. And that sucks. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. And those are the types of things that if you invest now in your health and you invest in those products, you're going to most likely avoid having serious health conditions when you're older because you spent your money on good products that don't have chemicals in them.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, that other 20%, obviously we said 80% assets. Now we're going to say 20% liabilities. Now, obviously, if you're a hardcore dude or a hardcore woman and you're like, dude, I'm 25, I'm trying to save every penny that I have, then do a 95-5 principle, right? 95% of the stuff you're spending your money on is on assets, and the other 5% is on fun stuff or vacations or going out and having a drink or, eating crappy food every once in a while. Like, obviously, everybody here and there, and I'm not saying everyone deserves this, but everyone here and there wants to go and just relax and kick it back. And I get that, we do that too. So, 20% of the money that you decide to spend can be on liabilities, right? Mm-hmm. As long as you're putting 80% of your spendable income, right, after bills and stuff like that, towards something, towards a mortgage, towards, like I said, your health, good foods, certain supplements for your body, like time out in the sun, like whatever that means, quality family time, even like I would consider quality family time an asset because you're making memories with like the people that you like love with your tribe.
I agree.
So, and finally, guys, moving on, the very last thing that I kind of want to, touch on today is to always have some sort of savings, some sort of investment portfolio. So I personally am a believer in real estate, right? Like I'm not a real estate mogul. I'm not a real estate agent. Like that's not what I'm saying. But, I do own a house. I own a lot next to me. And, while some people might think that that's not the best form of investment, and, you could be buying like apartment complexes and like places to rent out, quadplexes, duplexes, stuff like that. It's still something that I'm at least putting my hard-earned money into. And eventually I'm going to own. I'm not renting.
Yeah.
Right now with the market, things are very wacky, very weird, especially down here in Florida. Things are very pricey, very expensive. So obviously you don't want to be investing, maybe not right now. But number 3, guys, is just finding some source of investment, creating a portfolio no matter how old you are.
Yeah. Because if you're investing your money right now, like I said earlier in the live, it's going to set you up for the future.
Like talk about your Publix and stuff, like your stocks and Publix.
Yeah. So I work at Publix Pharmacy, and as you get close to a year, they give you the option to invest your money into a 401k, and then you can also invest into the stock. So for me, I do 75% into aggressive funds. So Publix can take that 3% that I put in and invest it into aggressive investments, and they can play with that and do that. And then 25% goes into public stock, which is continually growing. I believe it's a great investment to invest in.
Yeah, it's a great company.
And I plan to get a lot more stock in public stock in the future. But I'm setting myself up right now. I'm 26 years old because when I'm ready to retire one day, or when, I'm ready to pull out, I have something that has grown over time. And I've learned that from my father. He works at Publix, and he's put, who even knows how much money in public stock, and that has grown over time, and it's set him up for when he's ready to retire. He's going to be good because he set himself up since he was 15 years old.
15 years old, yeah.
So it's all about right now, like doing something smart with your money. If you have extra money, instead of going to the bar with that,
I was just going to say
and
that.
drinking and throwing away and trying to impress girls and lining up shots.
You guys are screwing up big time.
If you're going to the bar and you're like, let me try to impress these girls and let me order 10 shots of Patron to
Just
to
spend
make yourself
$300
look cool.
on 6 hours.
And then you spend $300. That $300 could have went into stock. That could have went into some sort of an investment that's going to grow over time. And instead, you were drunk and you wanted to impress some girls, which it most likely probably didn't work. And then you waste $300.
Right.
I mean, it goes down the drain.
Yeah,
and so many
yep,
people do
yep,
this.
yep,
and
yep,
girls do this
yep,
shit
yep.
with like trying to look cool in front of guys and wearing like these designer clothes that they can't afford yet. Like, if you can't afford it yet, then why are you buying it?
You guys are playing the short game, and that's most of your problem. And that's the same thing with fitness. That's why you guys aren't reaching your fitness and health goals, is because you're trying so hard to play the short game. You're trying so hard to find that quick and easy
Right.
fix. You know, it's the same deal with what Kate was talking about with going out and with pleasure. And like, you're always chasing that pleasure, you're always chasing that short term, like, asphyxiation of like, oh, I feel good. Like, and that's your
Yeah.
problem. That is your
Like,
problem.
I see so many girls out there that I know probably don't have the money to really live that lifestyle yet.
Right.
And they're out there driving their Audis and their BMWs and their whatever the hell they drive.
Right.
And it's like, I drive a Honda right now. You know why? Because I'm trying to set myself up. I don't care what I look like.
You're not trying to impress your
other
friends.
people.
Yeah, that's your problem, guys. Like, not everybody, like, don't take offense to this, but you know, what you guys need to do is take a hard look in the mirror and like really ask yourself this question: am I doing this for my friends or myself, or for my friends, or for my family? Like, who are you doing it for?
Because if the answer is not you, you probably shouldn't be.
You're probably screwing up.
You're probably wasting your money, and you're probably doing it for the complete wrong reason.
Right,
Because at the end of the day, you should only care about, in a way, like, I'm a very selfless person, but like, in a way, when it comes to decisions like that, you should only be thinking about yourself.
Right.
Because without you setting yourself up, nothing else is going to be good. Your relationships aren't going to be good. Your job's not going to be good. Your life, nothing.
Let me get real with you guys for a second. Let me get real with you, and then we're going to wrap this up. There are far too many of you that are so focused on right now. Like, got to get in the notion of you know, investing into that long term, investing. That's why I'm so big on preaching health and fitness. That's why Caitlin now is so big on preaching health, fitness, nutrition, mind, body, mindset, right? Spirit. Like, we're about the wholesome of who we are as people.
And we want to spread that to other
and we want to spread that to other. We want to spread that to you guys and like let you guys know, like, this can be you too.
Yeah.
Like, all you have to do is be super freaking honest with yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror consistently. And find good people, right? Find good people around you that are going to hold you accountable.
And with that being said, I mean, we are nowhere near perfect. Like, let me tell you, we are nowhere near perfect.
No, I wouldn't get on this live if I was.
The most important thing is that we know where we want to be. We know we want to set ourselves up. We know what works for us so far and what doesn't. And like I said, we're always open to new ideas and new tips. But the most important thing is actually that we have each other, because if I'm kind of messing up a little bit with my money, or I'm not staying consistent with eating healthy, he's the one that holds me accountable, and vice versa. If he's doing that, I hold him accountable. So pretty much what it comes down to is surrounding yourself with the right people, to where nobody's perfect. You're going to have slip ups. You're not going to always make the right decisions. You're going to do the best you can. But if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, they're the ones that are going to help you build yourself up for the future.
Yeah.
That's my best thing to say.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's awesome. So guys, just kind of wrapping up, you know, first off, you guys are in here and you got some value from today's episode. Definitely let's see some fire in the comments below. I want to know who got some fire value from today's episode. You know, this is definitely something rare for me to talk about, you know, and bringing Kate on was an absolute honor today. I loved having you on. Beautiful. It was awesome live, especially in this setting. I mean, I'm actually like, we're able to go live in like this amazing like scenery and this pool, and like it's sunny out, and we're on vacation tomorrow. So super blessed, super grateful today, guys. I'm super grateful. We are both super grateful for those of you guys that decided to tune in today and listen to us ramble on about financial fitness. We really do hope that somebody out there, you know, was able to maybe be inspired to start putting away a little extra change and start to invest in their future. You know, if you're 25 years old and you know, you want to start a family, you want to find that woman or that man or somebody that makes you happy, guys, it starts right now. It starts when you're single. It starts when, you know, you're not married yet. It starts before all of that. You have to start investing,
Set yourself up,
setting yourself up for the future, guys.
And even if you don't want to take our tips, if you think our tips are bullshit, that's okay. But I hope that this video motivated you to go do some research.
If we didn't do, exactly.
Go do some
if
research.
We did anything,
open your mind on how to budget or what ways you can budget, and go look it up and go research it and go talk to people about it.
And if you guys have any questions,
if
you guys have any questions, reach out to me. You guys can reach out to Caitlin too. And Kate, what's your Instagram handle so anyone listening can
Kate_Curry. There might be 2 T's in Kate, or there might be 3.
How do you not?
really
how do you not know?
Idea.
Obviously, that's not how you spell your name. 2
Kate,
T's.
Kaitt, or a 3rd T.
Possibly 3 T's.
Possibly
okay.
_Curry, Currey.
I can always put it in the comments, guys, of these.
I have no idea, guys. I don't really care.
Anyways,
about
guys, that is it. That is all. Thank you so much for tuning in today to today's episode on the Relentless Life podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure. Here I am stumbling and fumbling on my words. Right. But like I said, guys, if you got some value, just like we do at the end of every single episode, what I want you guys to do is screenshot that screen on Facebook, screenshot your screen on Instagram, or maybe even the podcast, wherever y'all are listening from. And make sure you guys post your number one biggest takeaway. Type that biggest takeaway and post it to your story. Don't forget to tag me at Chance Galloway Fitness so I see that you guys got some value from today's episode. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. Until Monday, guys, we will see you next time. Have the best weekend ever. Stay freaking relentless. Peace out.
Browns.
Go Eagles. Let's go. Good job.
Goodbye. I'm going
We're still alive.
I know, but I'm going to see you.
Go see your niece. All right. Good job, Caitlin. Thank you. Good freaking job. We're clearing out. Thanks, guys, so much for tuning in. Have the best freaking weekend of your entire life. Peace.